Do we have an obligation to obey even unjust laws? The answer is complex. Romans says, "Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment." 2 Peter speaks of the era of lawlessness, and Titus tells us to be submissive to rulers and authorities. 1 Timothy says we should pray for rulers and for everyone who has authority over us. On the other hand, we do see many biblical examples of what amounts to civil disobedience. King Nebuchadnezzar built a golden idol. Idol worship is among the gravest of sins. He then commanded that his people bow down and worship this idol. Those who disobeyed the order would be killed. Obeying the order required the commission of a grave sin. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, 3 Jewish teenagers, were subjects of Nebuchadnezzar. They refused to bow down before the golden statue. They said, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden idol that you have set up." This made Nebuchadnezzar very angry, and he ordered the furnace be heated 7 times hotter than normal. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were bound and thrown into the furnace. The fire was so hot it killed the soldiers who threw the teenagers in. But when Nebuchadnezzar looked into the furnace, he was amazed. Nebuchadnezzar said, "I see 4 men unbound walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt. And the appearance of the 4th is like a son of the gods." Then Nebuchadnezzar called the teenagers to come out of the furnace. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego emerged unharmed, with not even a hair on their heads singed or the smell of smoke on their clothing. Nebuchadnezzar learned his lesson, and he said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him and set aside the king's command and yielded up their bodies rather than serve and worship any god except their own God." Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego disobeyed the law and were saved. How do we reconcile this passage with Paul's admonition to obey our rulers? Basically, we must obey unless obedience requires us to sin. So a very bad law, which does not require us to sin, must be obeyed. We can work within the system to change the law, but until that change, the law is to be obeyed. That said, where sin is required by the government, we cannot obey. So Daniel refused to bow to Nebuchadnezzar's golden statue, and refusing to bow led to punishment which he accepted. But Jesus had no question that to pay the Roman tax was required. The payment of tax involved no sin. If this seems hard, remember what Jesus himself did. He was accused, tried, and convicted in an unfair and unjust system. He had the power to overturn the result of his trial. He could have swept away the entire Roman Empire with a word, but Jesus obeyed. He obeyed the unjust law even unto his death. That's the lesson we must take. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.